Hello, good evening. Today, September 11th, 2023. To present Camnet Television News, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. The top stories in the news: PF uncertain about holding its party convention to elect its new leader. The Socialist Party denies endorsing same-sex marriages. The Lusaka City Council cautions evening vendors. In international news, reactions and aid pour in from Morocco as earthquake's death toll reaches 2,500. In sports news, Spain's football chief Luis Rubiales resigns after World Cup kiss scandal.
On Monday, 11th September 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Kasonde Mwenda, President of EFF.
They don't have that money. They have been downgraded, they are in debt. Now they are trying to use KCM to leverage and make money out of us. Where do we put the people of Zambia? Where is their interest? So what we are seeing, those are false words, and we can bet on it. What?
As they discuss, is the political atmosphere conducive and democratic in Zambia? Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Top Star channel 106. Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rainglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Camnet Television News in detail. The Lusaka City Council LCC has warned individuals in the habit of trading from the streets in the evenings that the local authority is not sleeping on the issue of vendors. Council Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says the council is aware of individuals trading in the streets at night and that the authority would not tire of inspecting the CBD at random times. On the 18th of July this year, vendors selling from the streets of Lusaka Central Business District were removed, but defiant individuals have continued to do their business from the streets. More in this report.
Close to 2 months after the vendors were removed from Lusaka Central Business District, the Lusaka City Council says it is still keenly following the compliance of the affected vendors who are reported to be selling their stuff in the evening on the said streets. The local authority says it is alive to this fact.
See anybody coming back to the streets, but we have a bit of challenges in the evening after 18 hours. We see some people coming back to the streets, but we are alert as a local authority, and we've kept on arresting those. Our council police is alert, and they've kept on arresting all those that are coming back to the streets in the evening to operate, and would like to appeal to all vendors that it is important that they comply with the guidelines that have been provided by the local authority to operate from designated areas, as much as they want to maximize their profits in the evening by operating from the streets. It is a health hazard, and it is against the Public Health Act. So we would like to appeal to all those vendors that are operating in the evening, especially in the streets, that they should go back to their designated areas of operation.
Lusaka City Council Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says inspections will continue and those found wanting will be dealt with by the law.
And at the moment, I think we have won, because during the day we don't see anybody coming back to the streets, but we have a bit of challenges in the evening after 18 hours. We see some people coming back to the streets.
However, a check by this reporter found isolated numbers of vendors doing their businesses on the streets of the CDB in daylight. What will it take for this problem to ever be dealt with? Probably collaboration and mindset change. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Some Lusaka residents have urged the government to fulfill its pledge of stabilizing meal prices in the country. One of the residents, Alex Lukwesa, says government is quick to make pronouncements but lacks in implementation. Mr. Lukwesa hopes that the promise to stabilize the price of millet meal will be actualized, unlike mere politics. On Friday, while opening the 13th session of Parliament, President Hakainde Hichilema said he realized that government had been slow on development and asked for patience among the citizens when it comes to reducing the price of millet meal. Here's a report.
Zambia depends on millet meal for its staple food, but in recent months, mixed feelings have emerged as a result of the impact of high millet meal prices in the country. Various stakeholders, from church leaders to ordinary citizens, have shared their perspectives on the millet meal price issue. On Friday, 8th September 2023, while opening the third session of the 13th National Assembly, Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema reassured citizens that the economic challenges will be resolved and requested patience among the citizens when it comes to reducing prices of millet meal.
Concerned about this situation, Madam Speaker, and are doing everything possible to stabilize the price of our staple commodity, food called millet meal. Measures will be seen and their positive impact fairly soon. Furthermore, we are putting in place, Madam Speaker, measures which will cushion the vulnerable in society as we restructure or secure solutions around this subject.
But reacting to this message, some Lusaka residents have called on the government to actualize the promise, explaining that many are times when pronouncements are made without action. The residents only hope that government will act on the promise made.
Last time when they were president to like the Kosia Kulima, you remain soya beans. Abantu buy posa mugulima soya beans. Babu nukutira soya beans tailomba fertilizer. Since fertilizer amata bayale lomba fertilizer kashika tuli minomba soya beans. Batu laila tukufyalo na tumisangira market. Bati bantu basali mafenali soya beans. Ukutengo wapona. So efeta tulefwe fyakula tulaye fintu fyakutira tafirejiti. Wafika beyond manje ukuthi umuntu ukula tani andrama yavuta ngawatula alonjezera futa kenda aya petrol yapita kusokolo so sotuka kama pambili kulipe twamena kunika muntu amugaliza zamzake kweza muntu bila kutakhale muntu nikudya ngati muntu akudya akuta sokaba zambili kukakulibe muntu akulika kudya wakuta manza kudya njovuta sadula nipira 50 unga 70 manza zitafshani barazi onani bagale batoma kutaoni unachipisha unga urunda wakateka bazoba kama.
Currently, the commodity is fetching between 275 kwacha and above 300 kwacha, and citizens remain hopeful that government strategies will be a success. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Some traders at Lusaka's Kuku compound in Chawama constituency have expressed displeasure at the persistent effluent in the area. One of the traders, Theodore Sikombe, says business has been greatly affected because of the proximity of the effluent to their businesses. The concerned residents are calling on the local leadership to resolve the problem before the onset of the rainy season to avoid waterborne diseases. But when contacted in Koloma Ward, Councillor Davis Chembe pledged to look into the matter. Vincent Perry has more in this report.
Poor water supply and sanitation services contribute to a high burden of waterborne diseases such as diarrhea and cholera in Zambia. According to the Zambia Center for Disease Control, diarrheal diseases are among the top 5 causes of deaths in this country. That aside, a disease outbreak looms in this part of Lusaka's Kuku compound in Chawama constituency as traders sell items including foodstuffs under these stagnant waters mixed with a sewer influent. Traders here are not happy with the local leadership, who they accuse of being casual in addressing this problem.
This drainage was not supervised by an engineer from local government, which is the city council. Where is the director of the engineers? What are they doing? Are they being paid for nothing, for doing nothing, literally nothing. As you can see, this then is a trap. There's death in this.
We all know that it is not rain season, but we've been affected. We pay like Misonko, but yet they are not working on these things. Since last year, we've been having these waters and they are not moving. You find that children are falling into them, and even adults, they are falling into the same drainages.
These waters discharge an unpleasant smell, but for traders, they have no choice. However, their businesses are going down.
It is really affecting our businesses because you find flies everywhere, and as you can see here, we have a takeaway, we are dealing with restaurants, and customers, they don't come once they see such drainages because waters are not moving here. My appeal is that they should just come and help us with these drainages. At least they make bigger ones than this because water are not moving. Government
people are failing to come through into our shop. When they see the water, they say the place is just too dead.
Nkoroma Wadwan Councillor Davis Chembe has promised to rectify the problem soon.
On that one, this is the thing we are working on. So I'm from the council. We are the meeting with the engineering, talking about the same. Yeah, we'll see we are making a move on that one.
Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The Socialist Party has labelled Economic Front President Winter Kawimba's accusations of the party supporting homosexuality as misplaced and born out of jealousy. On Saturday, Mr. Kawimba told journalists during a press conference that he cannot work with the Socialist Party due to its belief in same-sex marriages and lack of respect for its members. However, speaking in an interview with Camnet News Monday, Socialist Party Mobilization Committee member Teddy Mwaba says Mr. Kawimba's comments are born out of hate for Socialist Party leader Fred Membe, who deserted him at Rainbow Party. Mr. Mwaba says it is unfortunate that opposition leaders can be fighting each other as opposed to uniting to address the many challenges such as the high cost of living.
And when you look at Dr. Fred Membe, he's one of those who has been an icon on the Zambian political scenario. No one can talk about democracy without mentioning Dr. Fred Membe. He has that record. Where is the record of Comrade Winter Kawimba? Winter is just bitter because Socialist is growing day in, day out. That's the reason he is so bitter. He was part of, in the Rainbow Party, where Dr. Fred Membe and Dr. Msomari were part of. They separated from him because lack of leadership qualities, lack of leadership skills. Now, a person who is eager to form the leadership of this nation should have morality. The reason his colleagues, his fellow comrades defected, left him, and they are doing so fine on the political platform. Those are elements of jealousy. Therefore, backing from outside, let Mr. Winter come back. If we can say his family members cannot vote for him, they are part of the Socialists who have come to join the Socialists. Now, where is he basing his argument? If his family members cannot vote for him, cannot trust him, then they decide to join the Socialist Party. Where is the credibility of him forming the government in the 2026? So, I can urge him that to leave the Socialists alone. It's a growing party. I am a principled person. I am a pastor, a principled person. I came here on principle to join the force that is here to speak for the Zambian people. Now, when we talk about morality, we are a party which trusts itself in speaking for the vulnerable people in society. Is that not morality? So he wants us to keep quiet and not talk about the issues that concern our people. So it is a misplaced statement. Let him grow in politics and learn to understand where he's taking his party and why Zambians should trust in him.
The ruling United Party for National Development UPND member Wene Hajombwa has challenged opposition political parties in the country to criticize the reinstatement of Vedanta mineral resources at Konkola copper mines based on the conditions attached, unlike politicking. Mr. Hajombwa says opposition political parties are lacking the scope to provide checks and balances, hence the need for them to begin to understand the benefits of the reinstatement of Vedanta. He says most contractors at the mine belong to opposition political parties, who he said will benefit from the mine, Hence, he sees no reason why they should politicize the matter. Mr. Hajombwa says the reinstatement of Vedanta Mineral Resources has been done in good faith and politics should not be part of the equation.
The agreements on KCM. So, I send a challenge to my colleagues in the opposition to come and criticize the UPND government on what we agreed with Vendetta. Let them come and criticize to say, UPND, you didn't negotiate properly on the creditors. UPND, you didn't negotiate properly on the 20% salary increments that our focus now ourselves as members of the UPND is to ensure that colleagues from the media, the agreement that we have with Vendetta is actualized. And I can assure you that we are monitoring that. I can assure you that I'll be on the copperboard myself also to ensure that these things are implemented. These things will not just be on paper.
The holding of the long-awaited Patriotic Front PF Extraordinary Convention remains uncertain as Party Acting Vice President Given Lubinda expresses doubt of holding of the event slated for October 28. Speaking during a press conference in Lusaka Monday, Mr. Lubinda says the party cannot hold the extraordinary convention to elect its leaders before undertaking the constitutional conference, which failed to be held on the 29th of July 2023. Mr. Lubinda adds that the convention cannot be held on October 28, 2023, as it is a day to remember the demise of the party's founding father and Zambia's 5th president, Michael Sata. Meanwhile, during the same event, Mr. Lubinda unveiled Raphael Nakachinda as Party Secretary General. More in the following report.
The holding of the Patriotic Front PF Extraordinary General Conference has again been thrown into doubt at the third time of asking. After losing power in 2021, the party agreed to hold its General Conference by 2022 to elect its new leaders, including the President, but was pushed to March 2023, which failed, and now the rescheduled October 28 date is in doubt. Speaking during a press conference Monday morning, Party Acting President Given Lubinda said the Extraordinary Convention cannot go on before holding the Constitution Conference, which failed to take off on July 29, 2023.
As you are all aware, we had set 29th of July as the date when we should have held the Constitutional Conference. Unfortunately, that date coincided with Mutomboko and the celebration of the centenary of Minga Mission. And we put off that Constitutional Conference. The Central Committee is yet to sit to decide on the sequencing of the two. All of us in the Central Committee slept on duty because the 28th of October is a very important day in the calendar of the PF. That is when we commemorate the demise of our founding father, President Michael Sata. So we have a big event on the 28th to commemorate the demise of President Michael Sata. So even if we were to try and hold the conference, it wouldn't be on the 28th of October.
During the same event, Mr. Lubinda also unveiled new party leaders, with Raphael Nakachinda appointed as Party Secretary General.
The confidence that you continue to express, and I also through you thank the party president for this assignment, and I only pledge that I'll do my level best to contribute the bit I can to with my colleagues to make sure that the collective effort results in a very strong political party.
Meanwhile, Mr. Lubinda claims the cancellation of the church service, which was supposed to be attended by former President Edgar Lungu on the Copper Belt on Saturday, is out of hate. The former ruling party has also weighed in on President Hakainde Hichilema's trip to China, labeling it too late to balance Zambia's tilted geopolitical standing, having already hinged on the West.
And now, belatedly, he jumps on a plane like a headless chicken. I'm going to China. It's too late, Bwana. It's too late. Your friends engaged China a long time ago.
For Camnet News, Afyas Kaptula, Lusaka.
Government says opposition political parties are free to hold their own political activities as long as they do it within the confines of the law and abide by the provisions in the Public Order Act. Ministry of Information and Media Director spokesperson Tawo Kawana says government will not allow the country to degenerate into lawlessness as the law governing political activities is clear. Mr. Kawana said this following a statement made by Patriotic Front Vice President Given Lubinda that his party will go ahead with all its planned political activities. Mr. Kawana warned that anything outside the boundaries of the Public Order Act has got its own consequences. Meanwhile, Mr. Kawana dispelled insinuations by Mr. Lubinda that it is too late for President Hakainde Hichilema to go to China. Mr. Kawana said it is never too late as President Hichilema has traveled to China following an invitation by his Chinese counterpart, President Xi Jinping.
Opposition in our country, including the Opposition Patriotic Front, are free to hold their own political activities. They just must ensure that they do so in accordance with the law and abide by the provisions in the Public Order Act. Anything outside those boundaries has got its own ramification, and if people dare do that to infringe the law with impunity, they will be met with equal and necessary measure to correct the situation. As for the China trip, we have heard what Given Lubinda is saying about the president going to China and insinuating it's too late. It is never too late. The president has gone to China now after he has been invited by the president of China. So, like he said when he was coming from UK the other time, that we are on queue and we're waiting for our invitation to go to China. And our invitation has just come, and yes, today we are in China. So we do things methodically. You do not crash people's countries. You do not crash any function, including a wedding. Even if you go to any function, you go with an invitation card. You cannot start saying, let the president go to China when he has not yet been invited. Today he has been invited and he has gone there, and you turn around and say, it is too late. Too late for who? It is never too late. I think you will be able to see the kind of memorandum of understanding the president will be witnessing being signed while he's in China. So we are on course, and we are on course with every other nation that wants Zambia to visit them. We will be there upon them giving us an invitation.
Former Kawushi area member of parliament Bowman Lusambo pleaded with the Lusaka Magistrate Court Monday morning to sympathize with him and allow an adjournment after his 4 lawyers failed to appear before court and represent him in his alleged corruption case. Mr. Lusambo, who was left in a tight spot after the court insisted the matter proceed with or without his lawyers, told Lusaka Magistrate Davis Chibwili that his plea was to have the matter adjourned in order for him to engage counsel of his choice, as it is his constitutional right. This is in a matter in which Mr. Lusambo is facing 2 counts of corruptly acquiring property. More in this report.
Left in a tight spot, former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo was forced Monday morning to speak for himself and plead with the Lusaka Magistrate Court to adjourn his criminal case after his 4 lawyers failed to show up. Mr. Lusambo is also former Kawushi area member of parliament, was left in a more unfortunate situation when Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chiwili insisted that his alleged corruption case proceed with or without his lawyers. Magistrate Chiwili refused to grant his plea to adjourn the case on the basis that the defense counsel, who claimed to be in conduct of the matter and moved the court by filing an affidavit of an adjournment, was not even placed on record as one of the lawyers representing the accused. But when the court resumed after the case was stood down for 20 minutes, the accused requested the court to allow him to engage his lawyers, adding that it was in the interest of justice, as well as part of his constitutional right to be represented by counsel of his choice. Magistrate Chiwili acknowledged the accused plea, however was quick to mention that his right has not been taken away, as it is his lawyers who have chosen to stay away from court proceedings this morning. After hearing Mr. Lusambo's submissions, the court sympathized with the accused and granted his plea and adjourned the case to the 3rd, 4th and the 5th of October 2023. In this matter, Mr. Lusambo is alleged to have between the 1st of May 2015 and the 31st of December 2021 possessed a single-story 4-bedroom house, a guest wing, and a car shed alleged to be proceeds of crime. While in the second count he is accused of possessing an incomplete block of 6 flats in Lusaka's Chamba Valley, properties that are reasonably deemed to be proceeds of crime. The offence that the accused is facing before the courts of law is contrary to Section 71 of the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act, number 19 of 2010. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Lusaka Magistrates Court has warned and advised the Inspector General of Police, Raphael Musamba, to make himself available before court, and in the case he fails, proper communications be made. Monday morning, when asked why he failed to appear in the previous court session, Mr. Musamba told Magistrate Crispin Hampungani that he was advised by state advocates not to. The Police Inspector General was before the Lusaka Magistrate Court in relation to a case he stands accused of defamation by Socialist Party leader Fred Membe. More in this report.
The Inspector General of Police, Raphael Musamba, has made his first appearance before the Lusaka Subordinate Court this morning, Monday, the 11th of September 2023, in relation to a case where Socialist Party leader Dr. Fred Membe has filed a complaint against him. The complaint is in relation to the Inspector General of Police press briefing on the 8th of August 2023, in which he said Dr. Membe's statement on various social media platforms were inciting peace-loving Zambians into a civil disobedience. Appearing before Magistrate Crispin Hampungani, the Inspector General of Police told court that he was advised by the state advocates not to appear when he was questioned why he failed to make his appearance before court in the previous court session. The IG has since been warned and advised to make himself available before court, and in a case he fails, proper communication must be done explaining the reason why he has failed to make it to court. Meanwhile, Dr. Membe said this shortly after the court session.
To have the right to defame others with impunity. The police command is not there to do politics. To talk about politicians in the way they want. He went a bit too far. I'll leave it at that.
Earlier, the court was informed by state prosecutors that the Director of Public Prosecution has not yet issued consent to have the matter prosecuted. In this case, Dr. Membe alleges that the IG's utterances in their nature and ordinary meaning were meant and understood to mean that he was instigating rebellion and anarchy in the country. The matter has since been adjourned to Friday, the 15th of September for mention. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
We'll take our first commercial break. Join us for more news after the break.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
In our quest to save nations and develop Africa, Savenda is investing in the agriculture sector so as to produce supply for both local and international markets, housing over 12,000 pullets that are nurtured and fed with our locally made stock feed that comes from our own locally grown maize and soya beans, all processed from our recently installed milling and mixing plant. Our over 95,000 layers have an output capacity of over 1,500 trays of fresh eggs per day that are carefully selected and packaged for all the leading stores and supermarkets nationwide. Our greenhouses are fitted with the latest irrigation system, and the seedlings are nurtured to ensure only healthy plants reach the fields. With our deliberate planting schedule, we are better placed to supply constantly without interruption, thus reliable. Savenda Farms is also changing lives of its dedicated workforce drawn from the local community and beyond. So the next time you think fresh and green, think Savenda Farms.
On Monday, 11th September 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Kasonde Mwenda, President of EFF.
They don't have that money. They have been downgraded, they are in debt. Now they are trying to use KCM to leverage and make money out of us. Where do we put the people of Zambia? Where is their interest? So what we are seeing, those are false words, and we can bet on it. What?
As they discuss, is the political atmosphere conducive and democratic in Zambia? Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Top Star channel 106. Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
We continue with the news. The National Association for Smallholder Farmers in Zambia, NASFAS, has called for the prudent utilization of about $500 million which was saved from the purchase of basal dressing fertilizer during the 2021-2022 farming season under the Farmer Input Support Program, FISP. Association Chief Executive Officer Dr. Frank Kayula believes the funds should have been invested in meaningful agricultural development programs aimed at eradicating hunger in the country. Dr. Kayula proposes that part of the saved funds is disbursed to other needy areas, such as the revamping of farming blocks, distribution of farming inputs, among others. On Friday, President Hakainde Hichilema, while opening the 13th session of the National Assembly, disclosed that the country saved about $500 million from the purchase of basal dressing fertilizer during the 2021-2022 farming season under the Farmer Input Support Program, FISP. Here's a report.
In Zambia, agriculture contributes about 19% of the gross domestic product (GDP) and employs about 3/4 of the country's population. Despite its importance, challenges have surrounded it, such as the delay in farming inputs distribution, affordability and climate change effects, among others. On Friday, 8th September 2023, while opening the third session of the 13th National Assembly, Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema disclosed that about $500 million was saved from the purchase of basal dressing fertilizer during the 2021-2022 farming season under the Farmers Input Support Program, FISP. The National Association for Smallholder Farmers in Zambia, NASFAS, has called for the prudent utilization of the said funds to ensure productive agricultural activities are promoted to help the country be food secure.
A lot of money, and would have wished that when we have such monies, we consult stakeholders, and we are part of the stakeholders on behalf of smallholder farmers. We can change the way we do agriculture in this country with that $500 million. We can change, and things will be totally different, and we are not going to have hunger the way we're having it now. We are not going to have meal costing over 300 kwacha per 25 kg. If we have that money, we can make use of it amongst smallholder farmers, improve what they are doing. Right now, we are more or less relying on just supporting farmers. For me, the $500 million cannot stay idle when there are activities on which we can spend to improve agriculture.
Dr. Kayula also proposes that part of the saved funds is dispersed to other needy areas, such as the revamping of farming blocks and distribution of farming inputs, among others, but observes that President Hakainde Hichilema lacks experts to advise him on the management of the agriculture sector in the country.
I think those that are advising the president may be too young and too inexperienced to continue what they are doing. The president, I think, needs some elderly persons around each of those offices that advise him. We need young people, quite all right. Yes, they are energetic, they can run around. We can have 2, 3, 4 young people, but in every group, let's have an experienced person to give him better foresight on how we can handle the agricultural sector. Because so far, I think they have not given him good service that he needs from them. I don't think they have served him very well.
Now, Sonzulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The 1997, 1998 and 1999 retirees spokesperson Siachoke Simemeza has warned that they will be forced to use a political and uncivilized way to air their grievances if government does not pay them their money. Mr. Simemeza wonders why government has delayed to pay them despite 2 court judgments in their favor. He says the retirees sacrificed for the nation at the time it was under economic distress, and that treating them in the manner they have been treated is unfair to them.
May we be paid on the cases that which are straightforward, and those which they are saying they have appealed. Who are we not to stop them? Not to appeal. They have that right. But our only problem is how they are doing things. We made a mistake. When the current president was campaigning, he came where we used to be gathering, assured us if we voted for him. But we were also generous. Even after winning in 2021, we went to him, we wrote to him. Our case is special. We are before court. When we have judgments, we will come and show you this is a judgment. Now we have judgments, we have won. We need to be paid. So next stage, what we will do, if this is political to them, we will also look for a political route. We can wait for 3 years. We have no problem. But the person that we are going to engage, if not them, we will make them sign a social contract. Because it's like now we have been used. The way PF did, used us, dumped us. So these are doing the same, they want to dump us. So our appeal to the president, we are his people regardless of who we are. And we are the people that worked for this money.
Government has handed over a Toyota Hilux and a Toyota Land Cruiser station wagon for the Nansanga Farm Block development to the Ministry of Agriculture in Central Province. Central Province Permanent Secretary Miuna Manakampwe handed over the 2 motor vehicles in Kabwe today. Mr. Manakampwe disclosed that the official handover ceremony of the motor vehicle takes cognizance of the 8th National Development Plan, whose theme is socio-economic transformation for improved livelihood. Here's a report.
In its quest to return the country to the trajectory of its 2030 vision of becoming a prosperous middle-income nation, the UPND government has planned to unlock the immense prospects in all the sectors of the economy. In the Ministry of Agriculture, for example, government has established farm blocks in all the 10 provinces of Zambia. In Central Province, government has handed over 2 motor vehicles for the development of the Nansanga Farm Block in Serenje district of Central Province.
These 2 vehicles, as we stand here, are for provincial and district offices, have indeed come at the right time to provide extension services. But these vehicles must be husbanded and husbanded prudently, efficiently, and optimum utilization for the purposes of extension services and supervision, monitoring and backstopping of different activities to be implemented in the farm block.
The handover ceremony did not go without caution.
And I wish to say to you, Paco, these vehicles are not to be parked at bars and girlfriends' places. We must run away from the abuse of government vehicles.
And the benefiting Serenje District Agricultural Coordinator has thanked government for the aid in transportation.
So in terms of this vehicle, how it will help us is basically it will help us to achieve the objective for which the farm blocks were created, which is to increase the production. And by so doing, basically our office now will be able to provide the technical support to the farmers so that they are properly guided in terms of crop production, and that will help them to increase their production in their fields. So it is actually a very good development on our part as we were struggling in terms of transport, so the vehicle has come at the right time.
These two vehicles are expected to ease extension service delivery in the province. Helen Whitty reporting from Kabwe, Central Province.
We'll take our second and final break. Join us for more in international sports news when we come back after the break.
On Monday, 11th September 2023, on National Matters, join Pastor Moses Chiluba with his guest, Kasonde Mwenda, President of EFF.
They don't have that money. They have been downgraded, they are in debt. Now they are trying to use KCM to leverage and make money out of us. Where do we put the people of Zambia? Where is their interest? So what we are seeing, those are false words, and we can bet on it. What?
As they discuss, is the political atmosphere conducive and democratic in Zambia? Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television Network on DSTV channel 274, GoTV channel 25, Top Star channel 106. Camnet Television, your #1 community station in Zambia. This is your channel of choice. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And now in international news, the earthquake that killed several thousands of people in Morocco on Friday night has sparked an outpouring of solidarity around the world, with several countries and organizations offering Rabat their help. Foreign leaders expressed their condolences and many offered assistance, including Israel, with which Morocco normalized relations in 2020. Neighbor and regional rival Algeria announced it was suspending a 2-year-old ban on all Moroccan flights through its airspace to enable aid deliveries and medical evacuations. Here is a roundup of news beyond our borders.
Reactions to the earthquake in Morocco that has left some 2,500 people dead are pouring from across the world, with some foreign leaders expressing their condolences and offering assistance. Regional rival Algeria announced it was suspending a 2-year-old ban on all Moroccan flights through its airspace, and Indian Prime Minister, host of the G20 summit, sent in his condolences. We are praying that all injured people are healthy soon. The entire world is with Morocco in this tough time, and we are ready to give them all possible assistance. Rescuers face a narrowing window to save any survivors from the rubble of devastated villages in Morocco's Atlas Mountains 3 days after the country's strongest ever earthquake. In 2004, at least 628 people were killed and 926 injured when a quake hit Al Hoceima in northeastern Morocco.
Numerous residents of Gabon must travel long distances to access a standpipe in the hopes of filling a few jerrycans with water. Surprisingly, Gabon possesses abundant water resources estimated at a potential 170 billion cubic meters annually. Nevertheless, the nation is sorely deficient in water treatment and distribution infrastructure. There's no reason why a country like Gabon, where there's water, should run out of water at the tap. There's a real problem. Gabon's water and energy company doesn't really take this concern to heart. Gabonese people who are unable to travel long distances or purchase bottled mineral water often resort to using untreated water from wells or even from natural sources on the ground. It's very dangerous for your health because during the season, germs build up. There's no choice because there's children and there's people in poor families who don't have the means to buy mineral water, or other people have to go to other areas. So there's a well here in Mafobi, so people come to draw water to wash if they have no other choice. Genevieve Busugu, aged 58, structures her daily routine according to the schedule for water supply. The sole public fountain in her neighborhood is accessible for only a few hours each week, often during the late hours of night. In my home, it's complicated. The water only comes twice a week and only in the weekends, around 1, 2 a.m., at the most 3 o'clock. And you have to wake up the children because you can't go out alone at a certain time due to insecurity. You have to get all the children out of the house, go with the wheelbarrows that are outside, to the fountain where you were. Water supply has become an urgent public health concern. This has been identified as a top priority by General Oligi Nguema's transitional government.
Sports news tonight. Spanish Football Federation chief Luis Rubiales, engulfed in a scandal of allegations he gave an unsolicited kiss to a player on the Women's World Cup team last month, says he will resign from his position as president. Rubiales announced his resignation in a statement on Sunday, in which he said his position had become untenable, with the Spanish Football Federation later confirming he had sent a resignation letter to acting President Pedro Rocha. A Spanish prosecutor filed a complaint with the High Court against Rubiales last week for sexual assault and coercion over his kiss on the lips of Jenny Hermoso.
He spent 3 weeks clinging on to his job at the top of Spanish football, but the pressure took its toll. The fallout from the Women's World Cup kissing scandal was too much to bear for Luis Rubiales.
About my resignation, yes, I'm going to do. You're going to resign? Yeah, I'm going to. Yes, because I cannot continue my work.
Spain's first victory in the Cup was quickly soured when Rubiales kissed player Jennifer Hermoso on the lips as she collected a winner's medal. He claimed the kiss was consensual. 33-year-old Hermoso denied it, calling his claim part of a manipulative culture that he'd created. She said, "I felt vulnerable and a victim of an impulse-driven, sexist, out-of-place act without any consent on my part." The kiss sparked protests demanding he resign. FIFA then suspended him and the Spanish Prime Minister weighed in.
I suppose that within the Federation there were people who would agree with his behaviour, but in the end society has changed and that forced him to resign. I'm very happy about it.
Around 81 Spain players threatened to stop playing for the national team as long as Rubiales held a defiant press conference hitting out at what he called false feminists.
Do you think I need to resign? I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to resign. I'm not going to resign.
Spain's women's team coach Jorge Vilda, seen applauding that speech, was eventually sacked as the scandal gained momentum. Regional football bosses also called for him to go.
There was a new Spanish FA president who was close to Rubiales, but obviously he was already making his own decisions. He fired the female team coach Jorge Vilda, and Rubiales saw that things were obviously moving forward without him, and I think that was the tipping point for him to decide to go.
Rubiales said he decided to step down after talking with his family and to prevent further damage to Spain's joint bid to host the Men's World Cup in 2030. But the saga is not over yet. Prosecutors have filed a complaint with Spain's High Court against Rubiales for sexual assault and coercion, a charge that carries a maximum of 4 years imprisonment.
To end Camnet television news, the top stories once again. PF uncertain about holding its party convention to elect its new leaders. The Socialist Party denies endorsing same-sex marriages. The Lusaka City Council cautions evening vendors. In international news, reactions and aid pour in from Morocco as earthquake's death toll reaches 2,500. In sports news, Spain's football chief Luis Rubiales resigns after World Cup kiss scandal. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of Jude 1, verse 21. Keep yourselves in God's love as you wait for the mercy of our Lord Jesus Christ to bring you to eternal life. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Good night.